Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 8 Japanese destroyer, Akizuki. She has 23,600 health, a top speed of 34.6 knots, 8 100mm guns, 4 torpedoes, a surface detect of 7.3 kilometers, and 61 AA defense rating. For my modules, reduce crit chance on main armament, improved aiming accuracy, reduced the chance of flood and fire, improved acceleration, improved steering module. For my commander, basic firing training, last stand, superintendent, demolition expert, advanced firing training, and survivability expert. We're on the map Northern Lights, and this is one of those brand new ships that they're adding to the game. They're splitting, or they're not splitting, but they're adding a subline to the Japanese. They're moving over some favorites, or least favorites, and they're tweaking some stats. This is the Tier 8 in the subline. It is a line dedicated to a more gun-focused build. You might notice something on the screen. There is some sort of torpedo stopwatch. That is representative of sort of an instant rearm for the torpedo system. You might have noticed I said there were 4 torpedoes on this ship. Just 4. That's a pretty big deal. You can't play it like any other Japanese destroyer in the game. It is more like a Soviet destroyer, and that's why I have this particular build. It has 3 level 4 skills, similar to my Hobonovsk and my Udaloy. That's what you strive to do. And we've done about 15,000 points of damage to the Kutuzov as he's trying to escape. Is he on fire? I think he is, but I don't think it's our fire. And it's significant. The AA protection is significant. Of course, you do not have defensive fire like the Americans. The nice thing about this line, though, is that the torpedo rearm does not compete with smoke. If you wanted to have torpedo rearm in your main line, you would have to sacrifice smoke. And that's a big deal. But, of course, you have more launchers in the main line. That's sort of the difference. Gunplay and the amount of launchers. Even though it doesn't have those launchers, it's still a great ship. I just adore it. I've had a lot of fun testing it. Soon you will be able to play it. It is in the subline, so how that all is going to work out while we're working down this Arpeggio cruiser. How all that's going to work out is that the main line, if you have progressed to tier 10, you will have a tier 10. You will have all of the tiers unlocked. The XP is not going to change, so tier 10 progression will net you a tier 10 Japanese main line. The subline, however, is basically a brand new line that you need to work your way towards. Now, there are some ships that will be in the subline that you had previously, the Mutsuki and the Hatsuharu. I believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, if you have those unlocked in the main line right now, they will be unlocked for you in this line. There's some weird thing where they don't want to take away a ship that you've already had, even though it's really not the same exact ship. They've had to tweak some of the numbers, move some things around. The enemy pulled back. He didn't want anything to do with it. We didn't have anyone scouting for us, so I'm going to go for C. I feel pretty confident if I run into an enemy destroyer, I can take him out. I also have my smoke, and worst case scenario, we've got torpedoes that we can use our torpedo rearm ability. There appears to be 4 or 5 ships waiting to move into B, or at least supporting B capture. 2 destroyers are scouted over by A. A 3rd is not scouted. He's probably the guy capturing B right now. Since I really want to capture this base, I will try to get a little bit of extra damage on the target as he's going behind the island, not trying to risk the ship until we have fully captured this base. The enemy aircraft carrier is in the area, and it does look like he wants to test the ship. Oh, how good is the AA protection? It's extremely high. We don't have defensive, and I'm hoping he doesn't hit me, and of course he hits me. Of course he hits me. Well, he doesn't hit me, but the HE damages a module, which interrupts the capture. But we're able to kill, what, 3 enemy aircraft? You can't really do that in other Japanese destroyers. It's nothing that is completely broken. You're not going to completely protect yourself or anyone else. You don't have defensive fire again, but it's nice. And since you invested so much into your main guns, why not, right? Why not? So as we capture this base, once again, without the aircraft interrupting it, the enemy has captured B. It's a very close game. They actually have an advantage. I'm going to try and move towards B point and attempt to use my single launcher on one of the enemies. Most of my team apparently wants to fight for B point, and that New Mexico, who is in at B, went a little bit too far forward. Don't think he's going to survive. He read the situation incorrectly. You gotta be prepared. Oh yeah, there's a lot of enemy ships out there. You know what? Maybe this is a job meant for destroyers, if that. And who's gonna get the kill on the New Mexico? It looks like he's not burning anymore. Friendly HE is going his way. I would love to fire, but I'm just not giving that opportunity. But here's something else that you don't really hear that often with Japanese. I want to go hunt down the enemy destroyer that captured B. I would like for him to still be in the area and for me to overwhelm him. These gun systems definitely overwhelm the enemy with the damage output. Even cruisers, firing AP at the waterline or very close to it, it's very scary how quickly you kill things. And the velocity is pretty awesome. So, it doesn't look like we're detected by anything in at the point yet. I do have my smoke. I am very cautious. I'm ready to use it. What's he doing? Is he hiding close to the island? Is this another gearing game, Notser? No, of course not. So, as we move into the point, a couple of enemies appear to want to push the, what is it, 4 line? Yes, the 4 line. And they're more than willing. I am more than happy to see them push that way, because what I can do is I can sit in the point, use my smoke, and fire at them. And my AA is actually going off on the tier 7 fighter that is escorting the enemy cruiser. Or is it tier 8? Whatever. Either way, we're firing at the enemy. I could have swapped to AP with that salvo, but he was going to hide himself very quickly. Didn't really see an opportunity. The nice thing about this position, though, there's not really a risk that torpedoes will come our way. The islands sufficiently blocked each other that there's not really a straight shot in torpedo systems. And I do see a potential torpedo target. So what I decide to do is I decide to use my boost. The boost basically rearms in 5 seconds. The cooldown is irrelevant if it has 2 minutes left on it or 2 seconds left. The boost will kick in and it won't do the 5-second rearm. Obviously, don't use it if there's 2 seconds left on your main rearm. But if you just used your first set, absolutely use the boost to get out what would be an equivalent torpedo send in the main Japanese line. Unfortunately, my friendlies are not scouting with their aircraft, this cruiser, and he was able to avoid it, but he is showing a broadside to my ship. So, we fire HE, we switch to AP. It appears that he wants to fire on me, blind fire, and we're just going to see how much damage we really can do. There's an enemy Sims in the area, and I have to pull an audible, of course. We've got to get him down. I continue to fire AP. AP is not that impressive penetrating. It's 100 millimeters. Honestly, AP is going to probably work pretty well against destroyers. You're not going to have as much overpen as you expect because of that. Oh. You poor, poor innocent cruiser. You pulled a Notser right in front of me. How dare you? And it is an issue trying to escape areas, use your torpedoes, your speed boost. You do feel the speed. It is very, very slow. And please don't hit the torpedoes, Notser. That would be completely embarrassing. Okay, we're good. We're good. Speaking of embarrassing, The enemy is still stuck on the island. It doesn't look like he's trying to make an effort to get out of the area, and we're just trying to fire AP on a broadside target. The enemy Sims was in the area, but just continue the pressure on the enemy. I'm not doing as much damage as I would like. Got to get near the command tower a little bit, and he's down to 3,700. He still hasn't moved. Not an inch. Is the friendly going to get the kill? No, he doesn't. Our rate of fire is... Oh, is it really not going to get it? Come on, come on, come on. Get the kill. We have saturated all the damage possible on that area. I don't want to lose this. Get the kill. Alright, alright. We got the kill. Enemy Sims is using his smoke to capture in the area. Unfortunately for him, there's nobody scouting me anymore. I can push forward, and I can overwhelm him. My guns are better than his guns. Absolutely better. Better velocity, better rate of fire, better accuracy. It's got the whole package for gun systems. It's the real deal. It's the Japanese Soviet gun platform. The only thing that made me upset about this entire process of testing them is it stops at tier 8. Why doesn't it go to tier 10? And we know that Sims is still there. We are detected. And, oh, he has to leave the smoke. And he is going to take a lot of damage. Now, we are overpinning a lot. Absolutely a lot. Probably switching to HE would have worked out better, but we're testing things. Probably would have killed him in one less salvo, I think. And he sent torpedoes. We got to avoid. Thin as a blade. Not quite that, Notser. That wasn't thin as a blade. I am out in the open. I pop my smoke. Friendly cruiser's right behind me. He can also use my smoke. I think the Nagato got the shot off. Yeah, just a little bit too slow. And I think he thanks me for the smoke. I was saving myself, okay? It was just convenient that I happened to provide it for you as well. I mean, if you want to thank me, you're more than welcome to thank me. Shh, don't tell him. Don't tell him. I didn't care about him there. It worked out, didn't it? And I'm trying to reorient my ship to send my torpedoes towards him. It's not working out as well as I would like. He has some angling. I decide, let's go HE and try and finish him off before the game ends because it is close. Set the target on fire. The chance to light the target on fire with demolition is, I think it's 10%. 10 or 9%. It's not very high. It's a small caliber gun. But it's about the amount you're throwing at the target, not each individual shell. Quantity over quality. And we do indeed get the kill on the Nagato. The game ends. And man, I was really impressed playing it like a Soviet. We didn't do as much damage as you might see in a Soviet, but we did plenty for the team. 2,292 base XP. I did around 45,000 points of damage in AP alone, which is a surprise for a Japanese destroyer, but not this one. There'll be plenty more in the near future. I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.